very short punching motion. Then all we're doing is we're blocking that ball back to the deep part of the court to keep the PB. It's just a simple shot. It's not a big swing. It's just a punching motion. Split step, left foot forward, short. First things first, we want to spend a couple minutes on the grip. The grip is the foundation for every stroke we hit in tennis. The forehand, backhand, our volleys, half volleys, overheads, our serve. If we don't have the proper grip, there's no way we're going to have the consistency, the power, and the control that we want to have. So it's very important that you understand the grips. Throughout my tapes, I'll be talking about the grips and where there are. There's 4 basic grips. I want to talk about those right now. There's 8 sides to every grip, an octagon. We number those this way. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is on the bottom, and then your backhand side has 2, 3, and 4. This helps us understand where we're trying to get to in order to get to the proper grips. The first grip that we have is called the continental grip. This is on number 1, or the V of the hand on platform number 1. This grip is used in the serve, all of your volleys, your half volleys. If we can learn this grip, it will help us tremendously. Years ago, this used to be the grip that they hit all the strokes with, but now we've changed and go with the continental, mainly on your serve, again, your volleys, your half volleys. Anything around the net, your net game will go to a continental grip. Your slice also is from the continental grip. Then we move over to an Eastern forehand grip, which is the V of the hand right here on platform number 2. This is also called the handshake grip. So if you put the racket out and shake its hand, that's the proper grip. Sampras uses this on his strokes. This will give you a nice flat stroke. Sampras hits pretty flat and powerful. I teach the semi-western, which is the V of the hand on platform number 3. So the V of the hand, platform number 3. This actually is one that most people pick up if they've started very young, because the racket's on the ground, they go down, pick it up. That's in the semi-western grip. Agassi hits with the semi-western forehand grip. Great grip. This is the one I particularly teach because you can hit the spin, you can hit the power, and yet you have that control just by generating a little more spin for the room for air. Going over further is called the western forehand grip, which is the V of the hand on platform number 4. You'll notice with this grip, you actually hit on this side of the racket. With this grip, it's extreme and it puts too much spin on. Mainly it's clay court players that use this grip because they're from the baseline to baseline, they're going extreme topspin. The balls are going real high over the net. I don't particularly like it because I find when you're trying to hit the passing shots, you don't have enough control to keep the ball lower over the net to make the ball dip down. It just gets the ball too loopy. So I don't particularly like it, but it's important to know this grip. That's this western forehand grip. Then you have the extreme western, which is on platform number 5 on the bottom. Again, it's clear under here. Again, I don't teach that grip. I don't particularly like it. Then what we do is we move over to the backhand side. There's platform number 2 on the backhand side, which is your left side if you're a right-handed player. Number 2, the V of the hand on number 2 is called the Eastern backhand grip, just like number 2 on the front side, or your right side is the Eastern forehand grip. Eastern backhand grip. This helps get the racket. If you're hitting pretty flat, this is a great grip to have on your backhand. I again teach between the Eastern and the semi-Western on the backhand grip, the V of the hand on platform number 2 or 3 to get that racket closed on your backhand so you're able to generate the spin. Very important to understand these grips. Again, going clear over to platform number 4 is the Western backhand grip. Extreme topspin. I don't particularly like it. Again, back to the clay court players. It's not a very diverse grip. You're better off moving to the semi-Western on the forehand, semi-Western on the backhand. You're going to be much more diverse that way. Now, if you're left-handed, it's very important to understand everything is just backwards. You start out platform number 1, continental. Now everything to your dominant hand or your left side is now your forehand side. Platform number 2, Eastern forehand grip. Platform number 3 is the semi-Western forehand grip. You'll hear me talk about this often on your forehand and your backhand. Semi-Western. Western is platform number 4. And then extreme Western is platform number 5. Again, hitting on the back side of the racket. Then we go back around. Eastern backhand grip for a left-hander. Via the hand, platform number 2 on your right side or your non-dominant hand. Platform number 3 is semi-Western backhand grip. Platform number 4 is Western backhand grip. So that you know, as a lefty, you're going to be just the opposite when I talk about the right-handed side and the left-handed side. Now you know the grips. It's very important that you understand these grips and learn them so that you get the racket head in the proper position. Once you do, you'll find the consistency will increase. The ability to hit these shots will increase, and you'll find you're way ahead of your competitors just by learning the proper grips. Hi, I'm James Jensen. Welcome to my Pro Tennis Lessons video series. Today we're filming at the beautiful Rancho San Clemente Tennis and Fitness Club in San Clemente, California. And in today's clinic, we're going to work on the ultimate forehand. What is the ultimate forehand? It's power, precision, depth, angles, consistency. How do we put this into our game to where we can trust it? Maybe you're one of those players that when you're out playing, one day you're totally on, the next day maybe you're totally off, you don't know what happened. Or maybe one of those players that comes out, practice sessions are really good, hit the ball very well, get in match situations and just tighten down and start pushing balls. What we're going to work on in this clinic is how to learn the proper form so that you can trust your form. So when you go out, you know that that ball is going to go exactly where you want to. On your cross court, your down the lines, the deep shots, the short balls. You're going to have total control of the ball to do what you want with it. So when you're out there, your opponent's going to start fearing your forehand. Make it a weapon, and if you'll trust the form that I teach you from square one, the very basics of footwork, racket position, grips, everything, I will teach you step by step how to hit this forehand with proper topspin so that you can trust it. If you do this, I guarantee your forehand will improve. So come with me today, go grab your racket, and let's get started. As I showed you before, the grips are very, very important in learning the proper topspin forehand. The grip that I teach on your topspin forehand is the semi-Western forehand grip. Remember, there's 8 sides to your grip. 1 is on top, then go to your dominant side. 2, 3 is on the side. Number 3 with the V of the hand is the semi-Western forehand grip. The reason that I like this grip, number 1, it's the grip that Agassi uses. If there's anyone out there you'd like to mimic or go after, it'd be Agassi. He has great form. He has very little, very compact strokes and very little wasted form and wasted motion. So that semi-Western forehand grip is very important. What I do it for is because on the backswing, it takes the racket to a closed face. This is important because most people that hit topspin, some of the misconceptions of topspin are they go with the continental grip and they think they want to come over the top of the ball. That's not the way topspin is generated. Topspin is actually generated by hitting up the back of the ball. The harder we brush up, the more air pressure is hitting the top of the ball to drive the ball down into the court. So when we hit this semi-western forehand grip, it takes our racket face closed back here. Then as we're swinging forward, it actually takes our racket just slightly off vertical so that we can brush up the back. Where you'll watch with the continental grip, it'll actually make a contact open, or an eastern forehand grip, as you're taking it back, it'll also be slightly open. You can hit flat, but you can't hit the spin. The semi-western forehand grip will get us in the proper position to hit the ball the way that we want so that we can brush up the back of the ball. So this is the grip that's very important to learn. Semi-western forehand grip, V of the hand on platform number 3. The next thing we want to move on to after you've learned that proper grip is the ready position. I don't care what sport you're in, you have to learn the proper ready position so that you can move quickly to the right or to the left. Very, very important. The ready position is a good balanced position. Your feet are about shoulder length apart, your knees are slightly bent, and your racket's up and extended away from your body so that you can quickly move to the right or to the left by pushing off from your outside foot, stepping with the foot going closest to the ball that you want to move to. Any sport, it's very important so that we can move quickly. I see it constantly out there when I watch people play. The ready position, their racket's down here, maybe down at their side. They're looking over here, looking over there. They're just not really even paying attention to what's going on. If you want to be a good player, you have to be in a good ready position. Your weight is down so that you can move quickly. If your legs are extended, you've got to drop your weight and then move. We want to take out one of those steps by already being down low in a good ready position. Then their eyes are focused, those nice big eyes watching your opponent. So you're watching that ball come off their racket so you can quickly know it's a forehand or know it's a backhand. Very, very important, the ready position. Let me show you from this side. It's again, feet about shoulder length apart, knees are slightly bent, racket is up and extended out in front of you. So you can quickly go to the ready position to hit your forehand or your backhand, volleys, whatever you have to do, you're ready for that shot if you get in a good ready position. Very, very critical to learn this ready position. Make sure it gets to where it's very comfortable for you. I know at first you feel a little bit stupid, and that's okay. Just go through it over and over until you feel like you're in a great position to go pounce the ball wherever it might be. Ready position is very, very important. Once you learn this, you're ready to learn the rest of the form. Now you're in your ready position and you're ready to move quickly to the ball, but how do we get to the ball? A lot of people have no idea how to get to the ball the quickest way possible. It's very important to understand this. From the ready position, remember, the weight is down. What you want to do is you want to step out with your outside foot to get you going in the direction that you want to. Push off from the inside foot. That will get you there the quickest. You don't want to go here and across. That will actually take longer than your one step out and then going. That'll get you right into stride and you'll be able to move very quickly. So from that ready position, our weight is already down, so we don't have to go here, down, and across. Tennis is very much of a timing game. It's all about reducing the amount of time it takes you to do any particular stroke, especially as you get to the higher and higher levels. Once you get at the lower levels, you have a little more time, so you can flub up a little bit. As you get better and better, you don't have that time. That little extra bit of time is very valuable. What you'll see is this is the way it is. If you're already in the ready position, you're already going to be ready to move quickly. You go out, step across, so that's big steps first. As you get closer to the ball, we start doing what's called baby steps to get ourselves in the perfect position to strike the ball. So as we're going from our ready position, let's do it one more time. We're here, ready position, out, drive across big steps, shorter steps, get ourselves in position so that we can plant our back leg, which will drive us forward to hit the ball correctly. Okay, let's watch one more time. I'm going from the ready position. The ball gets hit to my forehand side. I'm ready, my weight's low, I drive out, come across. Notice as I'm moving, the racket already starts to go back. I get to baby steps, plant that back foot, which drives my weight forward, and then I go through the proper swing from low to high. Getting to the ball is a big part of this proper ultimate forehand that we're trying to teach you. If you don't get to the ball, that's what causes the majority of times that we hit improperly, because we're there late, or the ball's beyond us, or we're getting on top of the ball, or the ball's too far away. We don't quite know where we want to hit the ball. Once you learn to get the feet in the proper position, it's much easier to hit that ball correctly. I can teach the feet to get in the proper position, teach you the proper stroke, put it all together, and you're going to have that ultimate forehand that we're working on. Ready position, footwork, getting to the ball are very important parts of this puzzle. Let's continue to build this so that you can have your ultimate forehand. This is important. Let's look at it one more time with me coming towards you. You start out ready position, that ball gets hit to my right side, my forehand side, I get driving, I plant, step, and I drive at my target. Very important. Get yourself to that ball. It'll be very easy to hit the proper stroke. Now we need to go on to the backswing. It's very important to understand there's three main types of backswings. Different mentalities, different philosophies that are out there. The one is called the big loop. It's kind of the old Vic Braden style of backswing where it's a big looping stroke. I personally don't like the looping stroke that much because of wasted time. You don't have that much time when we're playing, especially on the hard courts, grass, the faster surfaces. You don't have enough time to get the big loop to go through. It's okay on the clay, but not on the other surfaces. So why use a style that you can't use from surface to surface? One of the greatest players in recent time is Agassi. He has very compact strokes, very simple strokes. That's what I like to teach. There's an abbreviated loop, which is kind of where I want you to be once you're a little more advanced, which is coming back about here, rackets up, and then we're coming down and through. So the racket goes back here. It's called an abbreviated loop. It's not the big loop. It's kind of right in between where that racket goes here and drops and then up the back. Backswings are so important because if the racket isn't back and ready when we get to that ball, we can't let the trigger go and go rip the forehand. We have to try to take it back quick. I constantly watch people when they get there. They're running to the ball, the racket's out here, and then when they get there, they have to try to stop and swing quick. Timing is so important in this situation. Once we're already there with the backswing back, all we have to concentrate on is planting that foot. Remember the footwork, step forward, and then we can let it go. So if we're already ready with that backswing back, we just have to let the racket head drop and go. The third type is the old classical style. As you're just beginning to understand topspin, a lot of times this is a good way to start. And that is just the classic drop back style. Let that racket go back down low so that all we have to concentrate on is starting that racket head below the ball and coming up the back of the ball. So we're able to brush the ball and get the spin that we want. But that's the three different types of backswings. The big loop, I don't recommend it. The abbreviated loop, that's where I want you as soon as you're more of an advanced player, you're getting those maybe a 3-5, 4-0 player, 4-5 on up. I want you in that abbreviated loop. And when you're just beginning, start with the old classical style. Start with that racket down low so it's very simple to understand. We're just trying to let the racket go below the ball and nice low to high motion across the ball. But those are the three types of backswings. The abbreviated loop is what we're trying to get to. Racket head is right up here, and notice as my hands go back, my arms go back with the racket. That helps rotate my shoulders. Very important. You want to be balanced. There's a couple different styles, but the one that I teach and the one that I like best is come back together with the arms. So as we're getting turns, it rotates the shoulders. Then all we have to concentrate on is dip that racket head down and brush up the back of the ball. Once you understand the backswings, we can move on and understand what we do with our legs and what we do with the racket head and the rest of the follow through. So let's move on. Now, We go from that ready position. We've got ourselves turned sideways. We start driving towards the ball. We plant. That racket head is already back. You'll notice that as that racket goes back, the arms go back together. I like to tell people maybe they have some long set of handcuffs on that kind of bring their hands back together. Gives you a great balanced position. You're nice and balanced with your upper body, and then you can come through together at the same time. So as that racket goes back, the racket head really does not go any higher than maybe your shoulders. You don't want that racket way up above your head. You want that racket to go back about the shoulder height. So we're dropping it back, and then we're allowing that racket head to drop down below and come up. It's a nice circular motion. Helps generate the most power you possibly can. Let me show you from this angle so you can see it a little bit clearer. You from that ready position, you turn sideways, racket back. That racket is about shoulder height. Dropping back together, we step forward, let that racket head drop down, and then we start coming up the back of the ball. So that backswing is critical. Again, one more time. Sideways, racket back. Notice they come back together. We're to that ball. Here, driving through together. All right? Backswing is very, very, very important. Once you have the proper grip, the proper backswing, understand how to generate the topspin, you'll be able to hit this topspin very, very easily. Now remember, the backswing is a critical part of your forehand. As soon as you go from that ready position and you start running towards the forehand side, that racket is already turned sideways. You're already on the backswing. It's already back. We don't run with our racket in front and try to get there and swing quickly. We've already rotated our shoulders. Our hands are already back, so as we're moving, we're ready to plant, step, and drive at our target. That backswing is very critical. So it's here. As soon as we're ready to start hitting, that racket head drops down at least a foot below the ball so that we can start driving up the back of the ball and driving at our target. Very important. I don't want you running across and being one of those players that gets there and doesn't know what we're going to do with it. We get there, oh shoot. It's too late at that point. We already want to be prepared nice and early. Be ready to hit the ball. If you're ready, then it's easy to hit the ball because you can go attack it where you want to hit it. You don't let that ball get to you. So go from that ready position. If you're in the proper ready position, if you already get those rackets back early, that racket back early, your hands again, good balanced position. Back together, step across, plant that back foot, step, drive. Let that racket head drop and start driving. That's the backswing that I want you to learn. Abbreviated backswing and early preparation. It's very important to understand that there's basically two types of stances in the footwork. There's the open stance and a closed stance. If you have plenty of time, it's great to be able to get that closed stance. The closed stance is where everything is closed. Your hips are all the way rotated. You're able to get yourself planted. Everything's closed up. This is considered a closed stance. An open stance is where the hips are not closed. They're open. That's the difference between an open and a closed stance. The difference is we still plant from our back foot, but we don't have time to step. We throw our hips a little more. So our hip is thrown and we drive the racket head through. You have to be able to hit both the closed stance here, plenty of time, and the open stance where you're here and driving from your back foot, driving the weight and the hips forward, because you never are able to get into perfect position every time. If you can learn to hit both the closed and the open stance, it doesn't matter where the ball's at, you'll still have control of it and be able to hit it where you want. One more time, very important to see. Let me show it coming at you this way. This would be considered the closed stance. Ready position, I have plenty of time. I'm over to the ball, I plant, I step, I drive through at the target. My open stance, on the other hand, is this way. I'm over to it, I'm here, boom. I drive at my target. I can go up the line, I can go cross court with both the open and the closed stances. But try them both. Learn how to hit both of them. Very, very important in your footwork to be able to hit the open and the closed stance. Both of them have some positives and negatives, but both of them should be able to be hit. All right, now you've got the backswing. Now where do we make contact with the ball? This is one of the biggest misconceptions in people's minds on where you actually make contact with the ball. Too many people think that you make contact with the ball right off of your belly button, right about here, rather than way out in front. The game today is a game of power and control. If we want to be able to be the one attacking the ball and taking control of our points, we've got to learn to make contact with the ball out in front. The contact point, the proper contact point, is actually right in front of your front foot. That way your whole body is getting behind the ball and you're driving everything you've got into generating the power in the ball. Very, very important that we understand that. We don't want that ball back in here. If we get it back in here, we're going to have to start getting wristy, and we don't want that. And we've lost all of our power. It's just our arm strength rather than our legs and everything else. How do we generate the leg power? Very important. I like to use the term dip and lift, which is as that racket's back, we're finally ready to start going forward and driving everything forward into it. You'll notice the racket face is closed on the backswing. I drop that back foot and I start dipping my knees down. I want to dip as I'm going into my stroke and lift as I'm hitting. That dip and lift will actually generate more power and more spin to keep the ball controlled. Let's utilize the biggest muscles in our body, our legs and our butts. Those are the biggest muscles. Let's use them. Put them to work for you. So as we're coming here, we dip and lift, making contact in front of the front foot, and we're following through. Watch as I go through this motion. I'm in the ready position. I turn sideways. I'm getting to the ball. Notice my racket face closed on the backswing. The racket head dips. My legs go down. I drop it down and contact that ball right in front of the front foot. And then I go through the rest of the swing. Very important to understand. Dip and lift. Utilize your legs to your advantage. One more time from this angle. I want you to see that contact point. It's very important as you're watching this. Watch that everything is working together. My arm, my hips, my legs, everything is working together to get all the power I possibly can into it. So I go from that ready position. I take that racket back. Notice the racket face is closed. I plant that back leg. The legs drop down. I'm driving out in front. Everything is moving forward, so I have everything back behind my swing. I want everything to work together so you can generate all the power possible on it. Let's show it one more time, and I'll actually introduce the swing to where you can see the ball being hit. So we're here, sideways racket back, racket face is closed, ball's out in front. I drive that ball right at the target. Contact point in front of the front foot. That backswing, racket face closed, dips. Everything's dipping together, drive it together, and then it becomes vertical at contact right out in front of that front foot. Very important to understand. Too many people think that you're supposed to snap the wrist, that the wrist is snappy. They just did a video on Agassi. They broke it down to 1/124 frames per second to see if Agassi snaps his wrist. So you watch it on TV and it looks like he does because he swings so fast. They broke it down that slow and found that his wrist does not move at all during his swing. He does not snap his wrist to generate the spin. The spin is actually generated from coming down and the arm and everything else driving up the back of the ball. It's not the wrist snap that generates the spin. That's a huge misconception. If you'll understand, it's not by coming over the top of the ball and it's not by snapping the wrist, you're going to be able to generate that topspin that you're looking for. You'll get that driving topspin, I like to call. When it hits, it accelerates. It'll be that heavy topspin, not just that wristy topspin that sits and lifts up. That's not what we want. We want the driving topspin so that it becomes a weapon. So learn to put it all together. One more time so you see it all together. Ready position, turn sideways, racket back, racket face is closed, plant, drive everything forward now. Shoulders are rotating, hips are going. We're making contact out in front and right at our target. That contact point out in front. You attack the ball, don't let the ball play you. Attack the ball, play you. You catch the ball back here, the balls are going to fly. or you're going to have to snap your wrist, which is going to make the balls fly as well. It's kind of the idea of baseball. The snapping of the wrist is where the power comes in baseball. We don't want the wrist to snap because in tennis we want to keep the ball controlled. Wrist is controlled, everything's going forward at our target, driving out in front and right at our target. You learn these basics step by step, and I guarantee you will find that consistency and the power that we want from your ultimate forehand. So now let's move on to the next step. The final piece of the puzzle is the follow-through. This is an area that people don't quite understand how important it truly is. I constantly watch people out when I'm on the court, and they go and they try to hit and stop the ball. They stop their swing thinking that's going to keep control of the ball. What it actually does is it makes them lose control of the ball because the ball is on the strings a shorter amount of time. We want to keep the ball on our strings as long as we possibly can, so that we can generate the spin that we're looking for. We don't want to go through everything proper and then at that point of contact just stop. Number one is it's going to hurt us because as we're swinging with all the force that we're trying to stop, it's going to hurt the muscles. Number two is as soon as we make contact, we'll lose control of the ball. As we go here and step and make contact in front, we actually want to go all the way at our target and point at our target with our right elbow. Point at the elbow and the ball will go exactly where it's supposed to go. Down the line, boom. Cross court, boom. It'll make it very easy just by pointing at your target. The other thing that it does is that helps generate the spin. By hitting here, you've made contact. Now we want to continue that contact all the way through as long as we possibly can right at our target. We're going to start being able to hit the ball at our target rather than trying to guide it to the target. You're going to be one of those power players that can hit it corner to corner and be in total control of the ball by learning to go through that proper swing and follow through at our target. Very, very important to learn the follow through. Don't cut it off. Finish it. If you do, you're going to take control of the point and control that ball. Now let's look at the follow-through from this angle. As you go from that ready position, sideways racket back, the racket back closed, plant that back foot, dip, lift, contact out in front, drive that racket head right at your target and point at your target with your right elbow. That follow-through is all important, very, very critical part of our swing. The other thing is if we want to generate power, you have to be relaxed. You have to be able to throw that arm at your target. As you're real tight, you actually are not powerful. When you're relaxed, you're very powerful. You will find as you hit the ball properly that the easier it feels, the better the shot is. The harder it feels, the worse the shot is. If you're really feeling like you're having to work on every ball, you're not doing it properly. We want the whole body to do the work. Nice relaxed arm to go through. And you'll find that that has way more heaviness to the ball and way more power behind it than if we try to muscle it in. So learn this stroke, learn the form, go through it properly, follow it, finish your stroke, I like to call it. Follow all the way through, and you'll find that power, the consistency, and the control that you're looking for. You lose control by not following through. You gain that control by following through. Remember your power zone. In every sport, it's the same. Why is the strike zone chest to knees in baseball? It's because that's your power zone. It's the same in tennis. Between your knees and your chest is your power zone. That's where we want to make contact with the ball. That's where we want to drive. So when that ball gets up into our power zone, we want to drive that ball right at our target. Take control of it. Go attack that ball out in front. Contact point again in front of the front foot. Once you understand these basic concepts, it's very easy to go out and go through and hit the ball where we want to hit it. So learn these. Let's go over it all one more time from the ready position. Ready position. Grip is the semi-western grip. We turn sideways. It's to our forehand. Racket goes back. Racket face is closed back here. Then we're driving at our ball. We plant. We step. We dip. we start swinging from low to high, contact in front of the front foot, drive right at our target, and point with the elbow. Go through those basic steps, and I guarantee your forehand will become more consistent and you'll be able to generate the power you're looking for. Now we're going to move on, and we're actually going to teach you what causes the ball to generate that spin and give you some teaching aids on how to hit it properly and practice these things. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the path of the racket. This is a big misconception out there. People don't understand how we're able to hit the ball consistently over and over and over again. And the biggest problem that I run into is people actually come out of their swing too early. What they do is they let their front leg go straight. It becomes a pivot point as they're swinging that goes straight, and they swing around their body rather than holding their shoulders longer and driving down a nice line through the ball. We're going to use this line just to kind of demonstrate the difference. If you watch, if I swing out and come out of my swing early, I'm here and I come out early and swing across my body. From about right there to right there, I can hit the ball properly. Anytime out of that, the ball is going by. I'm either missing the ball or I have no control of the ball. If I learn that I want to swing down that line as long as I possibly can, I will actually keep control of the ball because I have much more room for air. So I'm here. This is considered a closed stance, remember? I'm going to show you the closed stance and the open stance because it's identical. I'm here in a closed stance. Now I drop that racket head down. From here all the way through there, I can hit the ball properly. I have from here to there for my room for air rather than from here to here. There's a huge difference. If your timing isn't perfect that day, you're in trouble. Everyone has days that they're right on. They could hit anything wherever they want to go. Well, hopefully you do. Or other days where the timing just isn't there. All of us have that. But if we learn proper motion and hitting the ball down that line as long as we possibly can, even on the days that our timing isn't perfect, we still are able to control the ball and hit it where we want it to go. Let me show you the open stance now. It's going to be identical. I'm here, plant, I drive, notice the shoulders still go back, and I try to drive down that line as long as I possibly can still. So I'm here driving, the hips are going through, those hips rotate, throw that weight down that line as long as you possibly can. Again, if I pull around and open up early, this is one of the problems with an open stance. People start throwing here across their body. Again, there to there to hit properly. If we throw here, throw the hips and drive down that line, from there to there, it's all proper. A lot of room for air. I believe in keeping things simple and giving you the highest percentage tennis possible, giving you the best chance to hit the ball properly. That's what we want. We want room for air so that we can win the points. When the other people tighten down and the ball is right around the net, they've lost control of it. We're learning how to hit that topspin so we can go higher over the net, still gain the control, and even when we're tight, we have plenty of room over the net. We have plenty of room going through our swing. Keep it consistent and learn to swing down a line through the ball right at your target, and you will definitely gain the control that you want. I'm here with my pro tennis trainer. I developed this to help teach people how to go through the proper motion to generate the topspin. You can work slice on it as well. What I love about this machine is it takes away the bounce. So I actually can start understanding how to generate the topspin and go through the proper stroke to generate that topspin without having to worry about the bounce. I watch people out bouncing balls and hitting. Every once in a while the ball goes right and they're not quite sure what made it go right. When you come here and take away the bounce, you're able to finally see by letting that racket head drop a foot below the ball and brushing up the back of the ball goes exactly where I want it to go. It also helps teach the muscle memory, so I can go through this motion over and over again, so that when I go out into my matches, I'm actually able to hit the stroke properly. This is a great trainer. The other thing I love about it is people see good results right off because that ball's right there. Nothing is more frustrating than going out on a court and have people toss balls or hit balls to you and you miss the ball completely. I watched this develop and watched people work on this and watched them go from missing balls when I was tossing it to them to being able to hit on a ball machine within about 2 times of working on it for 15-20 minutes each. It's a great way to train your forehand. So as we come back, what I want you to do is your racket face is closed. We work on closing it on the backswing. We work on stepping to the ball so that we can make our contact right off the front foot, brushing up the back of the ball and following through at our target. So here's the motion. Here, step and drive at our target. Look at the results. If the ball was in, you know you did it properly. If the ball was in the net, what do? Any ball that's in the net typically is caused because we're hitting through the ball here rather than letting our racket head drop that foot below. We're not getting the lift up over the net that we're looking for. So if the ball is in the net, check and see, go, okay, I've got to get my knees down more. I've got to let the racket head drop more so that I can come from at least a foot below to get that brush up the back that I want. So let's go one more time. Racket face back, up the back of the ball, right at our target. It's very, very simple, and you see results right away. If the ball is in, again, it's a great shot. If the ball was long, what could possibly be the problem? It's very simple. If the ball is long, it's normally caused because our racket face is open back here. So as we go through our swing, notice the contact. Racket face is open. You can't go low to high with an open racket face and expect the ball to drop in. You can go open racket face back here and slice, go high to low to high. That would work, but if we're trying to generate topspin, we cannot go low to high with an open face. The ball is going to take off across. Simple fix. If balls are all going long, work on the backswing. Check the racket face. Make sure it's closed or facing down on the backswing. Then we go at it and brush the ball. Very simple. Once you feel comfortable with this, what you want to do is now we want to actually have you move towards the ball. So we start a little ways away. Start in a ready position. We can work on moving to the side. Here, sideways racket back, come to the ball, step, and up the back. So we're able to get in that good position. Learn to move and hit that ball. Once you go through this, I guarantee you will find that this hitting the topspin is very simple. It's a very simple concept. Understanding, this is a critical thing on topspin. Understand, the harder we hit up, the more spin is put on the ball to drive the top of the ball down into the court. You get that into your head, I promise you, you will be so far ahead of most people. It doesn't make sense. Most people think if I go low to high and drive up, the balls are going to fly, but it's not that way at all. Physics tells us the harder you drive up, the more air pressure is driving the top of the ball down into the court. That is the way everyone is out hitting with so much power these days, because they've learned to hit and drive with power. One more time, coming across, we step, contact, below that ball, low to high. Very easy. Understand it. Let me do it one more time. You can start with the ball, maybe start back. Just get used to moving at it from a little different position. So we move and get used to moving forward to a ball. Here, I'm forward, down, lift, and follow through. It's a very simple concept. I love this trainer. I love how it helps teach, because it teaches you the swing itself. Once you understand the footwork that we worked on, understand the proper swing, get that into the muscle memory, that ultimate forehand is yours to be had. It's easy. Learn how to do it. Get one of the trainers, get out there, practice that motion. I promise you will find forehand, backhand, anything else that you need to, it will become consistent, it will become powerful, because you'll be doing it with proper form. You'll find it's easy when it's done with proper form. Very simple. So get out, practice the forehand. Remember, Racket goes back early, close the face, drive forward, up the back of the ball, drive at your target, follow through, point with your elbow. Get out and practice these things, and I promise you that ultimate forehand is in your grasp. All right, now you have the foundation for the ultimate forehand. But guess what? You don't always have enough time to get your feet totally set and ready to hit that ball properly. What do you do when the ball is on a hard cross court, you're on the backhand side, and you've got to start sprinting across trying to hit the ball properly? You have the base that you need. Understanding the low to high motion is critical, and also early preparation. If you're prepared early, once you get to that ball on the run, you're able to let that trigger go, let the racket head drop, and drive it at your target. One of the big problems that a lot of people have when they're running after a ball is they actually start running after the ball, but the racket's here. It's out in front still, so when they get there, they're having to swing quickly. It's a real problem, and they wonder why they don't have the control to hit the ball exactly where they want to. What we want to do on the run is as we get racing across, we want to already have our racket in this position, so we're racing across. So when we get there, all we have to do is let it rip, all right? In general, your running forehand should be going down the line. Normally, it's a ball that's pulling you way off court, and you're going to be continuing to get yourself pulled way off court. It's very difficult running full speed to plant a leg, turn, and get back in position. Normally, that shot had better be a winner or a high lob to get you back into the point. So it's very important in this instance to start practicing on hitting that ball down the line. That's going to be probably 85-90% of the balls that you hit on the run to your forehand side. You're going to want to go for the winner down the line because you will not have the chance to get it back in. You tried that hard cross court, I guarantee your opponent will be stepping up and be able to hit to the wide open court that's on this side. As you get running across, get it back, let it rip right at your target, all right? There's a little more timing involved, so you're going to need to actually practice those shots. Like all these shots, you've got to get out and work on it so you get the feel and get the confidence in hitting the ball that you want to hit. So remember, on the run, the critical things are two things. Early preparation, hit down the line, all right? Get your racket ready. So when you do, you're able to drive that ball right at your target. Another thing to remember is how we worked on hitting through the ball at a line at our target. That's critical as well. As we're running, once we make contact with that ball, we still want to be able to finish that shot right down at our target. If we go running across and pull wide or don't get to it and pull inside out, the ball is going to be heading out that way or it's going to be heading way across, not where we want it to go. We have to finish our stroke. If you're there early, prepared early, you're going to be able to direct the ball the way you want to. So the running forehand is one that you hit a lot in this game. Practice it and understand racket preparation. When you get there, all you have to do is up the back of the ball, drive it right at your target. You're going to find success. Woo, baby. That's a winner. Yep. Now we're going to teach you the inside-out forehand. Watch a tennis match and I guarantee you, you will see a pattern of someone hitting an inside-out forehand, which means off our inside hip to the outside or to the cross court. So we're driving the ball cross court. Watch it constantly. I promise you, you will see someone go to the inside-out forehand, inside-out forehand, inside-out forehand, get a little bit shorter ball. They'll come in, drive that ball down the line for a winner. In general, what happens is our forehand side is our stronger side. So many people are able to utilize their strength and they want to hit strength to weakness. We're going our strength, which is a forehand, to their weakness, which is their backhand, which is the backhand side. So you're going cross court. The way you set this up is you actually get a ball that's a little more loopy. You're somewhere in the middle of the court. You're able to step inside to the backhand side and start going inside out forehand. Remember the line. On all of our strokes, we want to hold the line right at our target. So we want to redirect that ball right at our target. Okay? Plus going cross court. Longest part of the court, shortest part of the net. We're working percentages. High percentage tennis will always win. So work your inside out forehand. It's a very great shot to have. I love it. So inside here, drive, and at your target, inside out. You're catching the ball a little bit deeper so that you can drive it right across. If I want to go cross court, I've got to catch it out here. That inside out forehand, I actually can catch back in here because the angles, understanding angles is critical in the game of tennis. So we understand that if I have the angle of my racket here and I'm able to drive from the inside hip to the outside, that will drive my ball cross court. Very important to have this shot. What you do mainly will be back from the baseline. So let me move it back and I'm just going to show you what the sequence would look like. So you're basically going to go here. The ball's a little more loopy. They go a little higher on their loopy on their backhand cross court because normally we're going to have our long rallies will go cross court to cross court. They get one that's a little bit up. Now I can step inside. I can start driving at the cross court. Then I can drive at the cross court again. Then I can drive one more time maybe at the cross court. I get a ball a little shorter up in here, rip the line for the winner. It's a winning pattern that will work constantly in your game. Understanding the inside out forehand is critical. You can do it with a closed stance, which is here, again, inside hip, outside at your target. You can do it from an open stance. Again, understanding, plant that back foot, inside hip, outside, going away from you is the trajectory. But understanding the basics will always work. Same idea, racket heads here, down at my target. The form on our swing is identical. That's why my pro tennis trainer is so important, to understand and get that proper swing motion down. Because after you have that proper swing down, I don't care if it's a running forehand, inside out forehand, cross court forehand, loopy, whatever you want to hit, once you understand the proper motion to do that swing, to get the ball to do what you want, it's very easy to hit the ball in and have the ball hit exactly where you want. Learn this inside out forehand. If you do, you're utilizing your strength against their weakness. Get that ball a little bit shorter, hit the winner, and you're going to feel very good about yourself. Plus, you're going to start understanding when you're watching the game of tennis, you'll see what the pros are trying to do. They're trying to set up patterns and get themselves in the position where they utilize their strengths, going to someone else's weaknesses. All right, let's look at it one more time. Really look at the body mechanics of how we get to the inside-out body position. Very important to understand. Ready position, as soon as we get that ball that's a little more loopy, we step across and get inside. Start getting ready to drive that ball to that outside. Very important. Here, we drop back, inside hip, driving to the outside. So here, driving to the outside. Notice where I'm making contact. It's a little bit later than if I wanted to go cross court, because I'm having to take it here to get the right angle to the ball. Again, ready position, step here, across, plant, that gets your weight going forward, drive to the inside out. Very important to understand these basic mechanics of getting your body in the correct position. Once you're in the proper position, it's easy to hit the ball where you want it to go. So let's work on the inside out forehand. Let's hit a couple balls and let me show you this pattern. Boom. That's the pattern. One more time, loopy. Step in, to my inside, inside out. Start pulling them wide, get them off the court. A little wider, really get them across. Boom, get that short ball, bam, up the line for the winner. Inside, boom. Now you're in your power position, you're in control. Keep deep. Pull them way off the court. Phew, shorter ball, rip the line for the winner. Now I'm going to teach you the slice forehand. The slice forehand is used in several different areas on the court. Number one, it's used as an approach shot. If you want to approach, slice it up the line on your approach, or slice cross court if you're playing doubles. What the slice does is it goes across and it sits down. The ball doesn't hit up. What you're trying to do is get the opponent to hit the ball up to you so you have an easy volley to put away. Another thing it does is when you're out of position and you're barely able to get to a ball, the slice is a great one. I use it constantly to get myself back out of trouble if I'm in trouble, get myself back in position where I can get back on the offense and take control of the point. So if I'm getting pulled really wide and I barely can get a hold of a ball, I can slice it. Gives me a little more time also, because it's not a driving shot, it's a ball that's going to float across and give me a little more time to get back in position. The slice forehand is a very simple stroke actually. Number one is the grip. It's very important to understand the grip. The grip on a slice forehand is a continental grip. Remember back to the grips that I explained at the beginning. Continental grip is the V of the hand, platform number one. So once you have the continental grip, you can do a slice, you can volley, you can serve, you can hit overheads with the continental grip. Learn this grip, very important. Then the motion itself, footwork's going to be identical. All we do, get ourselves turned sideways, we're going to plant. We're going to now start with the racket high to low to high, or cutting out the melon. High, down the back of the ball, to low to high, finishing at our target. Too many people on their slices, they don't understand what's going wrong. Many people on a slice just do this. And when it hits, it'll actually do what it does in golf. When it hits, stays there and bounces up. We don't want it to just sit there and bounce up. We want it to go through, hit, and slide. That's the reason we call it a slice. When it hits, we're cutting down the back of the ball, finishing back high. So when it hits and stays down. So the mechanics again, high to low to high. You do not want to drop that racket head down too far. That's another mistake that too many people make. As they're hitting, they drop here and the ball just pops up. We want to go at maybe about 10 to 15 degrees at the most. From this angle, if you look at it, it's only slightly laid back. We don't want to lay it way back or all the way back. It's only slightly. 10 to 15 degrees is all we want. So as we're coming back, it's high to low to high. So here's the motion. High to low to high. Finish the shot. Once you hit here, finish it all the way back through high. That's what helps keep the ball down and helps you keep control of the ball longer. Same idea. Follow that line through the ball. High to low to high. Your contact point can be a lot later than on a driving topspin forehand. Topspin forehand, when we're driving, contact point's out in front. Slice is actually a little bit later, more around your belly button in that area. Or if you get out of position, you can catch it back here behind you and still put the ball back in play. Another thing that the slice does also is it changes speeds. If you notice, our driving topspin ball is hit with a lot of force and a lot of pace. The slice will actually change that pace. It's very important to change things up in a match so people don't get in a nice rhythm. If you're blasting balls the whole day, they're going to start getting into rhythm to that blasting ball. Throw in a slice here and there to change up that rhythm, kind of like a good pitcher. Different speeds are very important. Different spins, different speeds. Makes them always guessing what's coming. So now I'm going to hit some, so watch the mechanics as I hit it. It's actually a very easy stroke to hit. Understand, high to low to high, get out and practice it. I guarantee you'll gain that shot and you'll be able to start changing paces, depths, and everything with your ball. You'll be able to control the ball even more. So watch the mechanics and then your slice will improve. High to low to high. Finish your shot. Now the approach. Whew. Those are going to be tough to hit a winner off a passing shot. Oh! Now we come to one of the greatest training aids, which is the wall. The great thing about the wall is you can find them almost anywhere. At any of your local schools normally have handball courts or any other big wall that you can hit up against. Very important to be able to use the wall. We can use it to warm up for matches. We can use it to work on our rhythm, to work on our form. But too often I see people hitting against the wall that really don't have a clue on what they're doing. They just come up and they come close to the wall and they're just blasting balls back and forth with no idea what's happening. They're actually integrating bad habits into their stroke. So it's important when you work on the wall that you work on the basics, the basic techniques of the forehand stroke or the basic techniques of any of the other strokes. So when you come out here, think about what you're doing. Work on your early preparation. Work on making contact from low to high. Work on contacting the ball out in front. What I like to do to start out with, on this particular wall we have the net height, and most of your clubs have the net height, so you're able to hit over the net and know where you're hitting. You don't want to hit way high so the balls are actually going out. We actually want to practice something that we can put into our match play. What I like to do is find a target somewhere, anywhere from about 2 feet to maybe 4 or 5 feet over the net. Pick that target and each time try to hit to that target. I like to start somewhere around the service line to start early and work nice slow motion. It's not trying to blast the balls to start out with. So first of all, we're going to go nice and easy just against the wall. Pick that target and try to go to that target each time. Try to move that feet, move the feet, watch the ball to the strings. Work form. Again, do not try to blast the ball. It doesn't do any good to just blast balls. I see it all the time. Work on the form and work on just getting the rhythm of the stroke. So as you get warmed up at the service line, start working your way back so you can continue to hold form, continue to work on the technique that we've been talking about. But nice and easy, just get the ball in play. Don't blast the ball. Start working your way back to the full court. Notice every ball is hit out in front. Early preparation. Then low to high up the back of the ball. We're not trying to do anything besides ingrain good technique. But go to a wall, work on it. Get yourself that rhythm, that technique, ingrain it into your form so that when we go out and we play our matches, we're able to put that form into effect. I guarantee if you will use the wall more, it will help your tennis game and it will definitely help your forehand stroke. Now we're going to work on another great training aid, which is the ball machine. The wall is great, but the ball machine is even better at a certain point because it simulates an opponent. You don't get the unpredictable bounce, but you are able to start grooving your strokes. You're able to work on a specific need that you have, whether it's a short ball, whether it's a out wide forehand, or working on your down the line forehands or cross court forehands. Whatever your specific problem is, you're able to work on that specific need. When you go out to work on the ball machine, it is so important to have a purpose and work on that purpose. I constantly see people working on the ball machine that have no idea what they're doing. They turn the speed way up and they're back there 10 feet behind the baseline, which really doesn't simulate anything they'll ever see in a real match. What we're trying to do is give you an idea of what you would see in a real match. So when you go out there, in that exact time in your match, you have it in your muscle memory exactly what you want to do. You go through the proper form, the racket back early, you're going from that low to high motion, you're contacting in front, you're making your good follow through. So every time it's in that muscle memory and you're able to hit that ball over and over and over again. Don't worry if you miss some. Too many people worry too much about missed shots and don't worry enough about the shots that they make properly. Everyone's going to miss. Normally it's whoever can just toss that missed shot out of their head the quickest is the one that's going to win because you don't worry about it. It's a fluke. I like to tell people if you miss a shot, smile. That gives the semblance of confidence and it lets the stress relief go. It's kind of a parenting idea. Just let it go by smiling. Then go through the proper stroke so that you put it back in your muscle memory and then you move on. Don't think about that shot again. When you're working on the ball machine, it's the same way. If you miss a shot, who cares? Next time, work on what happened on that shot. Was it in the net? Was it long? What are the adjustments I need to make? Then when you go in your match situations, you can make those exact adjustments so that it's nothing new to you. You've done it over and over again. So the first drill that we're going to run today is just working on cross-court forehand, something simple. So we'll work on our technique and how to make that cross-court forehand work so that it's that weapon, and anytime you want to hit cross-court, you have the confidence to do it. So the first shot that we're hitting is the cross-court forehand. We know exactly where it's going to go, so try to recover and work through proper form. Slide over, step to the ball, drive from low to high. Cross-court forehand shot is contacted a little earlier than the down the line shot. Work on the deep cross courts in the back court, then you can work sharper angles. But just work on that form, hold form every time. But get that rhythm, that's so important. Gain the rhythm. This ball machine that I'm hitting on holds about 150 balls. So you get a great workout on top of grooving your stroke. Once you're done with the cross courts, then you can start moving on to another stroke and go down the line. Notice the down the line shot. Contact point is a little deeper than it was on the cross court. When we start working a couple patterns, this down the line forehand will be the weapon that puts the point away. Now the next thing we're going to work on is a great pattern. If you watch the tennis on TV, you'll notice they have some patterns that they hit with. Cross court, cross court, cross court. Get a little shorter ball, boom, down the line for the winner. This concludes the segment on the ball machine. As you can see, it's very versatile. The ball machine can be used on all the strokes that we hit. We used it today just on the basic forehand. Later on, we'll be able to oscillate back and forth through our forehand, backhand, our approach shots, our volleys. You can even set it up to hit lobs so you can hit your overheads. It's a great machine. Use it once or twice a week, and I guarantee you will find that you'll improve. Well, how do you feel? I know we've gone over a lot on this tape, and there's a lot to comprehend and a lot to digest, but that's the beauty of these DVD and video series, is you can go back to each one of these segments over and over again. Go back, go out and practice the techniques that I've talked about. See what's happening, go back to the video, check that segment, and see if you're doing the technique properly. Get out, hit on the ball machine, hit on the wall. Work with a partner and actually go out and practice, not just play matches, but actually go out and practice these techniques. And your consistency will improve 100%. Enjoy, practice, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tape.